Do you want to learn how to calm allergies naturally? Today, we're going to be diving into this important topic. Obviously, a lot of people are dealing with allergies this time of year. We're going to be talking about diet and supplement tips that work, ones that we've been using for many years personally and through the Nutrition and Health Center. My name is Jason Steves. I'm a nutrition professional at the Nutrition and Health Center. I'm joined by my co-host Steve Steves, who is a clinical nutritionist and naturopath. And as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about some of these tips that we've been using for quite a long time to help relieve and resolve allergies naturally. Your body is designed to repair, to heal, to get rid of this stuff and clean it out. So we're going to share some tips with you today. Now, Steve, this topic is something we've addressed a lot. You've had to deal with for a long time because that was part of your health journey. And it crops up each year, a couple times a year. Seasonal allergies are an issue, even food-related allergies. We've got environmental chemicals and things in our environment that are an issue. So we need to make sure that we understand the simple diet and nutritional supplement strategies that can balance our immune system. And we're going to teach you about that even deeper in the webinar next week that we're going to be getting into. So we're going to be talking about that. Steve, tell us a little bit about allergies. Can you help us understand what they are and help us understand what they're not?
Excuse me. Forgot to bring my water. I'm a little dry. One second, Jason. I apologize.
Okay. All right. So sorry, folks. We'll station identification pause. Anyway, what Steve's going to be getting into is understanding that allergies aren't necessarily something that we have to deal with. A lot of times, we get into having issues and they happen so often that we feel like this is just part of my life. I have to deal with this. And the pharmaceutical industry kind of supports that mindset that you can't really change allergies. But the truth is your body can change. You can develop a healthier immune system to where you aren't as sensitive or reactive to allergens. Your body can respond in a more healthy, balanced way and deal with those things in your environment in a overreactive way. Because that's what's happening. Your immune system's overreacting to these things in your environment. But you have the capacity to respond in a balanced way. So, Steve, can you start off in this area of reframing our mindset towards allergies? Help us understand what allergies are and what they are not.
Well, having just experienced, and you can kind of pick up on it, my throat's still a little bit sensitive. I was out dealing with the chickens and so breathing in a lot of pollen this morning and still clearing. Today's Friday morning, and Wednesday worked all day, had a big schedule. Did my workout in the morning. Wednesday, by the time I got home in the evening, I was running a fever. I had had sinus headache pain all day. No, I didn't take a drug to suppress that symptom. I just drank over a gallon of water. And we're going to talk about water and its therapeutic benefits and how to use it, how to charge the water, how to get it to cleanse the mucous membranes because mine are still cleansing. And they will be for a while with this pollen. You can literally see it pouring out of the air right now. It's my responsibility to take care of myself in the midst of this. So these common seasonal allergies that cause headaches, and people are taking drugs for it that suppress their liver, damage their kidneys. They're eating foods that make the allergies worse. And I can tell you the foods that triggered mine, and we'll get into that in great detail when we do our allergy seminar next week. The environmental factors that also set me up for getting this allergic reaction that I did. It was the stress, it was the dehydration, it was all of the things I'm telling you to do today. about 3 or 4 of them I had neglected in a matter of 2 or 3 days, pushing myself really hard because we're moving our home, boxing things up, getting into dusty attics, and all kinds of stuff that were just burdening the body. And we have to protect our body. So I slept more and getting the refreshing that I needed and taking the nutrients I needed and feel amazing today. Just still mucus that's being produced. And I don't know if people are aware of this, but you produce 3 to 4 pounds of mucus today. So every day. So we're going to share one simple diet allergy strategy and 2 powerful nutritional strategies that support immune balance. And we're going to tell you a little bit more, actually a lot more, in our webinar next week. So allergies are immune overreactions, inflammatory burdens that are constant, that the immune system just cannot tolerate anymore. And when our tolerance is reduced and our adaptation ability is reduced, then we get set up for chronic, struggling sinus, headaches, achy body, low-grade fevers off and on that come throughout, disrupted sleep, and the list goes on.
Yeah,
But
Steve, and you were talking about this here before we jumped on the live. What are allergies? You mentioned there are certain things that allergies are not. A list of things that allergies are not.
yes, that's a good one to think about. But the things that allergies are not, I had to learn this. Allergies are not a deficiency of medication or a deficiency of antibiotic or a deficiency of vaccination. Why we think that these pharmaceutically thought up patterns would ever help or benefit. I went through years and seasons of that and was so deceived, and my health was so depleted by the age of 25. They told me I was going to be in a wheelchair. It had caused autoimmunity, and everybody has immune deficits that causes some type of breaking point. The immune system affects your heart. So if you've got high blood pressure and cardiovascular issues, you've got immune system problems. The immune system affects your digestion. 2/3 of your immune system's in your digestion. We've got to focus on the things that allergies are rather than what they're not. And that's all that medicine is doing right now, is just covering up symptoms for people and making them worse. And it's just you can hear the holy anger in my voice. I want to see people free like I am, to see in 24 to 36 hours, totally free of miserable, miserable allergies just on Wednesday of this week that just made my sleep Wednesday night terrible. Thursday resting, and now Friday morning back in the gym, full of energy and vitality, and yet still cautious. Going to eat clean, going to eat a Daniel diet. We'll talk more about that and how to get dietary cleansing to happen in the midst of
Yes.
all this, too.
Right. Yeah, thanks, Steve. You know that, folks, when our immune system is overloaded, as I mentioned earlier, it will react to things in a hyper way that it normally will react in a healthy way or tolerate. So we want to make sure that we understand that these seasonal burdens that increase because of the pollens and all that, uh, we're having reaction not necessarily because that we just have this sensitivity to this by itself. Yes, we've developed some sort of sensitivity to it, but it's our immune system has been overburdened chronically, as Steve's mentioned, and it's not able to tolerate these things when it can. It has the ability to do that. So we want to help you understand that. Steve, we're going to dive in now to three of these practical tips. Practical tip number one that we maybe you can expound for us is our a diet strategy. What's a diet strategy? There's a lot of things we can do with our diet, but what is something that we can do to help with relieve the body being relieved from allergy burdens?
Well, the diet is definitely a message to the body. It's either going to tell your body, I'm here to nourish you, or with this intake of processed sugar, refined sugar, industrial seed oils, ultra processed foods, artificial additives, artificial preservatives and sweeteners and alcohol. it's going to give you the message of destruction. And then the body's constantly in a disrepair mode. And simply, there's an excess inflammatory burden. The body's on fire. The immune system becomes more reactive. The histamine response worsens. So we think the answer is to take antihistamine drugs. They have dangerous side effects. We're taking all these things once again that are making us worse, and we are setting ourselves up for why America is the way it is, why we have so much cancer, why we have so much heart disease, why we have so much diabetes. We're trusting in a system that's broken, that isn't working because we believed a lie. We need to start believing God and His Word and that truth and do the adjustable things in our lifestyle that take work. It's work every day, but what do I have better to do than to glorify God in this temple, which belongs to Him? So don't feel guilty, ladies and gentlemen, when you spend extra time and extra money on caring for your body from the inside out, because it's not your body. It doesn't belong to you. Read 1 Corinthians 6:9 or 6:19 and 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 4, the commands that the Lord gives us and tells us your body is not your own. Therefore, glorify God in your body. And I have to repent when I overindulge, when I push myself too far, to work too hard and think I'm the one to resolve all this stuff. No, I need my rest. I need my refreshing. Even a short reset can calm symptoms. It's just a little getaway can improve that. If we focus on whole foods, clean proteins, Daniel eating of vegetables, foods that are sown from the earth. And you have to be careful there. Where are you getting them? Are they pesticide spray? Are they herbicide sprayed? What are you getting as a source of healthy fats? People think as they go online and buy whatever fish oil or omega-3 oil that they're getting a healthy fat. There's such an issue with processing oils healthfully that very few companies are doing it right. It's just not safe with the stuff that people are buying out there. And we see it all the time. People will get on our products. Yeah, they're expensive, but I wouldn't use anything else because I know how pure they are. And then yet they go and try and do their own thing. And then years later, they come back and they give you that long list of supplements that they were taking that weren't working. And then we readjust and they're back on track. And I just have seen it for over 30 years now. But
Yeah.
we're thankful. I am so thankful for these pure quality supplements that we now have private labeled for up to 5 years now. I think we're going on, Jason. And this Prosper Nutrition brand has really made a difference. And I know our next core message tip is
Yeah. Yeah. Before we
coming.
move on to that, Steve, I wanted to make sure folks, he shared some crucial information here in regard to the diet, and that's something that you've been, really trying, as you mentioned, for 30 plus years, trying to hit home with people. Folks, getting your diet right is so important. And it doesn't take, you don't have to measure all your food. It's just getting clear on what you eat on a consistent basis, what you avoid. And so he shared those tips. And so thank you for that, Steve. Now, as you mentioned, we're going to be touching on next second practical tip we're going to talk about today, which is the supplements that can help with getting your immune system healthy. We're going to touch on a couple here today. There are a lot more, but we'll just touch on two. So, Steve, go ahead. What are some supplements that we can do to help with our health and help the body to relieve allergies?
Okay, so the first one, Jason, everybody's going to go, yeah, I've heard that before and I've tried that. Well, they're trying poor quality. And number one, dog, is vitamin C. And we use a fully reduced a mineral ascorbate C that comes from a potato. It's not even harvested here in America. We have to get it from a European pure source that's untainted with herbicides or pesticides or toxic water. But what vitamin C does, now here's the thing about vitamin C, your body uses it up. It has what's called a half-life in the bloodstream of only 2 hours. And then your body's looking for more. It's looking for more to repair connective tissue. It's looking for more to regulate the histamine response, the immune modulation, your adrenal resilience. Your adrenal glands use 50% more vitamin C than any gland in the body. Are you under stress and burning up adrenal hormones? Probably if you drive on the streets of Houston or anywhere in America. It's just a toxic, stressful world. We need this help for seasonal and food allergies, and that's what vitamin C provides. It's so remarkable. It's one of the most functional nutrients for immune repair and resilience. Dr. Jaffe will tell you that biologically, the metabolic processes in the body that utilize ascorbate, every single known metabolic pathway has ascorbate, vitamin C, utilized in that pathway. And so we need copious amounts, as Dr. Linus Pauling received a Nobel Prize over his discovery of vitamin C, which he took over 10,000 milligrams a day. And the US RDA, which stands for, I don't know if everybody knew this, ridiculous allowance. It's not even something you should even ponder anymore. Find out through micronutrient testing, find out what you really need. What are optimal levels of functioning levels in your tissues for that immune repair and resilience that we need? And you'll see how the ascorbate works, how it works to enhance nitric oxide, how it works to enhance glutathione, how your body uses ascorbate to make cofactors like lipoic acid. And yet people are going and buying these expensive vitamins individually, and really all they need is upstream ascorbate support. Dr. Jaffe's clinical influence in the area of ascorbate is quite remarkable because it goes all the way back to his dissertation in college. Wasn't he in college like at age 17?
Yeah,
Medical school?
he was very young. He actually graduated from Boston University School of Medicine. I think he got his 4 year and his doctorate at the same time. And so yeah, he finished early.
Brilliant guy. And then after he finished all that, and he'll tell you this, he goes, it was a waste of time. I mean, he basically everything I really learned about functional biochemistry didn't happen until after I got out of school and really understood what it took. And these are the things that we're standing on the shoulders of giants like Dr. Jaffe and Dr. Linus Pauling, and some of these brilliant researchers like Dr. Jeffrey Bland. They have set a functional mindset to restore America. And it meets with a lot of resistance. Look at all the people that hate Robert Kennedy and what he's trying to do to stop the poisoning of Americans through vaccination. It's meeting resistance because of the lies that are being propagated by the pharma industry. So the battle will always be there. It's been since Louis Pasteur and Antoine Béchamp were battling it out in the era of the French. Remember that, Jason?
Yeah,
Dr. Jaffe tells the story, and they were
yeah,
talking about Louis Pasteur was doing a presentation to a group of colleagues, medical colleagues, and he had a flask that he held up, and he said, "Gentlemen, in this flask we have the cause of cholera," or he could say, "the cause of COVID virus, the cause of whatever you want to put in there." And he said, and as soon as he said that, Antoine Béchamp, who was like you and I, Jason, like Dr. Jaffe, Dr. Linus Pauling, and these others, he said, stood up and he said, "No, no, monsieur, in the flask you merely have the microbe. The cause of cholera is in the susceptibility of the host. So the weakness or strength of your body will determine whether you're going to overcome allergies or cholera." So Louis Pasteur, pretty smart guy, he says to Antoine Béchamp, "Well, monsieur, if this is so, you drink the flask." So Antoine Béchamp thought, what am I going to do here? He's older at the time. He had his assistant with him who was young and took care of himself and vibrant. He said, well, he handed the flask to his assistant and wanted to do the study. He said, "Here, you drink the flask." So his assistant drinks the flask of cholera, and you would think, oh my goodness, this guy's going to get cholera and die. He did not. no signs, no symptoms. He was just fine. So, immune resilience, we all can have. We can overcome disease. We were not designed for disease. We have been made fearfully and wonderfully. In fact, if you look in Exodus, God's saying, if you will just hearken to the voice of the Lord your God, is it He who is speaking that tells you and says that if you follow in my commandments and my decrees, then I will put none of the diseases on you that I put upon the world. He said the Egyptians, but we look in the spiritual context today that when the word Egyptian is referred to, it's just the world system. There was so much worldliness in that time and still is. And God is telling us, I'm Jehovah Rapha, the Lord who heals you. But he wants, it's a conditional healing. You're not going to magically get healed. Probably if you go up for prayer, at least from all the years we've been praying for people, they don't walk away, oh, I'm totally healed. No, they walk away with a command of obedience to work out their salvation, to walk it out, and to watch the Greek word sozo. To be saved means to be saved, healed, and delivered. Delivering you from your addiction to drugs, which I was, delivering you from your addiction to processed foods, which I was, delivering you from your addiction to alcohol, which I was, just that one half glass of alcohol, because my immune system is so delicate and so balanced, it was also added injury during this time when I, boom, got sick with allergies and fever, and my immune system had to shut down in order to rebuild. So I'm
Yep.
preaching, I know, Jason,
Yeah.
but you can tell my passion. I just
Well,
love
thank
this.
you. Yeah. These are good things, stories to share for people to get kind of a practical understanding. So vitamin C, folks, powerful, powerful. We've used it so often with so many people, and they've recovered from things. It's obviously allergies. It helps a ton to get the white blood cells active to clear out inflammation, so your body's not overreacting to stuff as much. But it can be used in helping get rid of cancer because the white blood cells help get rid of cancer cells. We can help chelate heavy metals with vitamin C. There's so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
benefits of vitamin C. Now, one of the nutrients we're going to talk about supplementing next. Steve, you've studied in depth, and I really loved hearing you talk about this next nutrient. It's very powerful for helping the immune system and helping the body to relieve allergies. What is this next supplement that can be valuable here to help with relieving allergies?
Well, if you don't want your feet to stink, take zinc. Oh, why do my feet stink? Well, because my detox pathways aren't working. Well, why is my immune system weak? Well, I'm not taking enough zinc. Well, why don't I enjoy a large variety of foods and I'm a picky eater? Because you're deficient in zinc. Well, is my vision decaying too rapidly? Because you have a zinc deficiency in the retina. Zinc was discovered in the early 1960s, I believe it was 1963, and they found three enzymatic protein RNA responders that relied on zinc as a metabolite, as an activator. So zinc is an enzyme activator. Well, through the course of time, zinc was found to have nearly 2,000 or more that they've found to this point of enzymatic pathways since they've been able to do genetic testing and studied all that around the year 2000. We'd already been in business 6 years by the time genetic studies came out. And so we're getting new discoveries. We're getting new research on omega fatty acids because they're understanding that. Folks, understand that we were so covered up by big pharma for so long that this information wasn't able to get out. And it's still manipulated online to where people are afraid to take zinc. They're afraid to take vitamin C because of the fake studies of synthetic vitamin C or zinc oxides and warning people that too much would be damaging to them. Bring me a person and I will show you they're zinc deficient if they live in America. Because of the toxicity of the environment, we are wasting away zinc. It's essential for immune signaling. It's needed for inflammatory control. We need it in the gut lining to build that integrity and protect the lining. It helps regulate over immune reactivity. So the gut has this barrier that's protective, full of immune cells, about 70% of your immune system in the gut, and insufficient nutrients to feed it, then you suffer, you have immune intolerance. But if we get sufficient nutrients to fuel the gut, that's why taking vitamin C intravenously, folks, please don't waste your money on that. Your immune system in your gut needs the ascorbate. It needs to fuel colonic cells for connective tissue repair. It needs to fuel the natural killer cells and the lymphocytes that migrate in and out and the signaling agents that come in and out. Folks, that daily support, work your way to your optimal immune tolerance. And I know that you'll be blessed. I believe that that is a nutrient that's going to be on discount uh, with the Prosper Nutrition company. And we'll be sending information out that a special flash sale with our company because it's connected to the immune system. But the zinc is the same in that same category because there's so many things that deplete our zinc, and it's so key for rebuilding immunity and protecting us against environmental pollutants,
Yeah.
especially in the gut.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. I always enjoy hearing you talk about zinc because it's something that you've clearly studied up on and very knowledgeable about and been using for a long time yourself and then with clients and seeing a lot of success.
Yeah,
So
well,
folks,
with the
supplementing,
Jason, the
yeah,
increased level of toxic material in the environment and toxic metals, the arsenic levels in our water supply, the amount of mercury and lead and cadmium, these are all heavy metals that the body rejects, and the body will reject those appropriately if there's enough zinc to fuel the metallothionein. Look it up, metallothionein. It's an enzyme that you produce in your cells with zinc in order to bind and excrete like a claw. It comes from a Greek word to chelate, spelled with a Chelate, chelate and bind heavy metals and pull it out. Well, when the zinc pulls out through metallothionein metabolism, toxic heavy metals, the zinc levels go down. So our daily zinc needs are all different. I know I see environmental things with the the stuff that's in our water supply is shocking, and our zinc depletion is absolutely grandiose. Zinc is actually processed out of live food because it activates so many enzymes in live food, it causes food to spoil and decay. And I love Dr. Jaffe's comments because he knows how zinc metabolism is in natural food. He says, eat foods that rot, spoil, and decay, but just eat them before they do. And I encourage that. And staying away from processed food then gives you more zinc in your diet. So go,
all the work that these food companies are doing, even with fresh foods in preserving them, are probably severely depleting the zinc amounts in these foods as well.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like, folks, zinc supplementation is almost essential for your immune health and overall health and well-being. Thank you so much for sharing that, Steve. That's powerful. So, folks, yeah, Steve did mention both of these products, both of these nutrients. We do have supplements in on our prospernutrition.com website with these. Our vitamin C Max, we've got a powder option that's our number one. There are tabs as well, but that's really for convenience. If you have trouble, getting the powder, using that with water in certain travel situations, we recommend doing the powder on the regular. But then there's zinc options. We've got two zinc options. We've got a zinc power, which is a tablet. You can get a higher concentration in a small little tab that you can swallow, and usually want to take that with your meals. But then you can also do a lozenge. We've got a zinc lozenge that also has some additional immune support, which is echinacea. It also has slippery elm, so really good for the mucous membranes in the throat. So really good product, and it does have a little bit of vitamin C in it as well. So those are some products you can get on prospernutrition.com and get started on boosting your immune system. Now, we're going to be stepping into this last piece of information that can help you with your immune health and relieving allergies. We're going to be talking about a little test here. Steve, you're going to dive into talking about how this test can help your body to maintain, or I say maintain, build and maintain good immune health so that your body can relieve allergies naturally. What is this test that people can do that can help with that?
It's called a micronutrient test, Jason, and this testing can literally change everything in your life when you understand these nutrient levels of deficiency in the working cell. Here's the problem. People have been for years, this test only became available around the year 2000, and they were able to figure out how to measure a working tissue cell in the body. It wasn't that they went into the body and they actually did that. Well, they withdrew blood and kept the lymphocytes alive. And through measuring the nutrient levels in the lymphocyte, they could determine their micronutrient levels that they need. And there's about 45 markers that can be measured of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, amino acids. And so these are key elements that give us specifics. And if we don't measure our personalized understanding of what we need as an individual, we're just not going to know. I mean, we're going to be just guessing. Oh, this sounds like I need it. I listened to that guy on the advertising blurb again who really doesn't have any experience in the field, but he's paid well and promoted well with money. And therefore, I believe him. So I'm going to buy his product and give it a shot. And there's another few dollars wasted down the drain. So you just can't personalize what you don't measure. Again, as I mentioned earlier about ascorbate feeding so many nutrient pathways in the body, like glutathione. Also, it's involved in homocysteine metabolism to balance the risk of heart disease. It affects how collagen tissue repairs. And so you can measure a number of these markers that are affected by just your ascorbate vitamin C. And ascorbate vitamin C is measured in the tissues in the micronutrient test, but the symptoms just don't tell our full story. We need to get these blood levels and understand how they affect at the cellular deficiency levels. Micronutrient testing will show all these nutrient deficiencies, and the functional imbalances in the major body systems are actually rated within the deficiencies that are seen there. And then, of course, you can figure out finally what your immune status is and to know what you really need. So I really encourage that. You'll know what your weaknesses are immediately. And boy, I learned quickly. And I was taking a lot of supplements. And when I
Mhm.
took my micronutrient test, I came up with close to 10 out of those 45 nutrients I was deficient in. And at that time, well, I'm probably in the top 1/100th of 1% of individuals that takes a lot of supplements because I've learned how they work. And yet I still show deficiencies. So balancing supplements is key so deficiencies don't occur. We'll find out what those are, how the relationship of calcium magnesium work, how the zinc to copper ratio works, understanding all that. You learn that from a micronutrient test, and then you can supplement accordingly and get the kind of answers you're looking for to overcome allergies and pretty much many other diseases in your life. It's powerful. Let's stay protected. Let's get tested. Doc,
Yep.
who was it that said that which gets tested gets better?
Kelvin?
Kelvin, Lord Kelvin. And he says also that when you get tested and repeat it, you get better quicker. So testing helps us target the right nutrients at the right dose for just the right person.
Mhm. Yes. And folks, you want to track. I mean, with anything in life, we're often kind of testing and tracking and looking at assessing things, but we don't think about how important that is for our body. But you know, I guess a lot of us do, but we think more focused on do I have a problem? Do I have a disease? Rather than looking at function and how well we are in the continuum of health. And that's why micronutrient testing can be valuable because it can tell you where you're at in certain nutrient levels that can help you step up the quality of your life, the quality of your health. And that's what's important. So make sure you're taking a look at testing. And now we talked about these tips today. We talked about diet strategies, supplementation, testing, and we're going to be talking in greater detail on our webinar next week. We really want you to join us. And so I wanted to share with you folks, uh, let's see here. Yeah, if you there's a link. If you join us on the webinar, you'll need to, if you want to join us, you'll need to register. We will be sharing the link on the details of this video. If you go below the video, there'll be a link there so you can register. But here's all the information. And then I wanted to show you here, this is kind of an identifier. We're going to be relieving allergies naturally, showing you those strategies. So you'll see this little logo here and there when you see us looking at that webinar. And then lastly, as Steve and I both touched on, you can go to prospernutrition.com and order these supplements, the vitamin C Max powder, and then also the zinc power and the zinc and herb lozenges. They're down here at the bottom. The Z, zinc and herb lozenges, zinc power. This is where you can get these supplements at prospernutrition.com. So we look forward to having you join us next week. And we want you to understand, we're going to help you understand why allergies develop. We're going to talk about a diet strategy in greater detail. We're going to show you a complete protocol that you could follow to help boost your immune health and relieve allergies. We're going to talk about how the digestive system is related to your allergy response and your immune health. And obviously, we'll be diving into testing and why that's important as well, and show you kind of a step-by-step plan that you can follow. So we look forward to that. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can contact us at Nutrition and Health Center. You can call us at 281-440-0024. We develop personalized nutrition and lifestyle plans for you based on these types of tests that we talked about today, micronutrient, blood tests, and things like that. So if you want to get a personalized plan, you can get started as soon as possible and contact the office. But if you want to get a little more information, come to our webinar next week. It's on Friday at 9:30 in the morning. We'll be diving into this information with you. Steve, do you have any closing comments that you would like to share with the folks before we say get sent off?
Well, Jason, I just want to pray over them for this information, not just to become head knowledge, but it become heart knowledge. Lord, touch their hearts with the amazing truth of your word, that you sent your word to heal us and deliver us from our destructions. We rely on you. We trust in you. I pray that folks will start to confess the word out loud, for faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God, that their faith will rise up, that they'll act differently, live differently, and walk in a newness of life and immune health. Lord, we thank you for the victory over these folks listening in Jesus' name.
Thank you, Steve.
Amen.
Y'all take care. We'll see you hopefully next Friday at 9:30 on the webinar. Go get in there and register so you have the link to join us.
See you there. God bless.
Take care. Bye-bye now.